Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. Today we are taking you on a cycling event with annual tour rides near Utrecht. Christina and I are training for Mallorca 312 and this is one of the first long events of the season.
Hi everyone. As you can see, we're taking the train to get there. The ride starts and ends next to an old military runway, which is really nice. It is 110 kilometers long and there are roughly 400 other cyclists here.
Yeah, so we just passed through the start line. The weather is not super good, but it will clear up later in the day. There was just some rain in the morning, which is why everything is a bit wet. And the goals of this ride were mainly to practice a bit of drafting, some bike handling skills, because we had a long winter break without riding in a group.
Here we have someone who took a picture of us, which is really the nice thing about this kind of events. And here we are with the first group that we started to draft, but they were a bit slow, so we decided to overtake them and to look for a different one.
Yeah, mainly because we try to keep the pace quite high, because after all it's training for Mallorca.
And even then we can't always keep the average speed very high because we have sharp turns and traffic light and traffic in general.
So we took a few more turns, had a few more traffic lights, and then we slowly headed out of the city where it also got a bit less busy and easier to ride in a constant pace.
This is the first group that we joined and we decided to stick with them until the first climb.
Yeah, and until then we will let you enjoy the ride.
And we made it to the first climb. Now we are still in the Netherlands, and that means that we don't have high mountains. This climb was actually 60 meters high, so it was not very long, and that's why we decided to go really fast. And during this climb, I actually got my best power for 5 minutes and my second best power for 1 minute.
Somewhere around here we actually start our descent, and then you can see here that some quite fast rider, they are on the left, approached us, and we decided to follow, so power goes up a bit. And this was probably the most fun part of the race, because we are going really fast and doing some drafting later on behind him as well. So really enjoyable, especially in the Netherlands where we don't have that many descents. Yeah, and we continued like this basically until the first food stop. 44 kilometers in, we made it to our food stop. We had really nice weather now, and yeah, we basically just ate a little bit. We had some waffles, some bananas, some oranges. We refilled our water bottles. We tried to keep it quite short, just because in Mallorca we will also not have much time. And yeah, again, this is a training ride for us. And yeah, there we are already, continuing our ride.
At this point, it got really windy and we're struggling to find a group to ride with. But yeah, we found this guy in black and red and we started to take turns, and then it was quite nice.
You can't really see it in the video, but somewhere around here we saw a group, a larger group further away. So we really tried to speed it up to catch up, because yeah, we had this one guy that we take turns with now, but it's much easier if you're in a large group. And it took us a while, but yeah, we finally met them. But also at this point the windy bit was over, but still nice to be in a larger group again.
At this point, we thought that we would stay with the group all the way until the end. So I tried to eat a gel, but it opened quite badly and it spilled all over the bike. So we had to stop, and then I tried to clean it. And we actually did a big mistake here. We tried to use the cycling drink to clean my hands, and that ended up all over the brakes. And it was actually very sticky. And for the rest of the ride, I couldn't use the front brake.
So after this break, we basically also got dropped of course from the group. Luckily it was just another, I think, 20-30 kilometers until the finish line or until the runway. And there we actually are already. As you can see, we just entered basically the airfield. So this is a bike lane or bike path which goes across the runway, and here from left to right the runway. But now, a bit confusing, you can see that gate there. So usually that's open. So yeah, we are slowing down a bit, wondering if the route goes somewhere else this time or not. Yeah, we couldn't really find the route, we couldn't find any signs. So really confusing, because we really hoped to have a last final sprint on this runway, because then the finish line is really just maybe a kilometer. But yeah, there were some gliders taking off. I think this one gets actually pulled by that small engined plane. And that's probably why the runway was closed. We also met this nice rider here, who was also not sure.
You know if it's this way or?
Don't know.
Because it's just there, but...
Yeah.
Shortly after this confusion, we just turned around and eventually we found the route again. So indeed it changed from last year. The runway bit is only the very last bit. But at this point we're just trying to quickly get to the finish. Cheers.
Cheers, and we hope to see you next time.